Okay, today we're going to be checking out the biggest underdog in VTubing, from Doubtful to Dazzling, Takanashi Kiara. Now, I think I have heard that Kiara had some like hurdles in whole life throughout the years, or like there was some difficulties that she had, but I'm not really aware of those things. Like I'm not really aware of like, her history in the sense, because I was not actively, I wasn't not watching whole live when they started, when they debuted. I wasn't really watching VTubes back in like 2020. I was like, how old was I? Like I was I was like 14. It's like 15. Like no, I was not. Yeah, let's just check this out.
I don't mean to sound like Silco from Arcane, but loyalty
I
is
haven't seen
something
Arcane.
of a fleeting and scarce and very valuable thing. See, everyone wants loyalty. Almost no one is. For one to be loyal to another, very strong feelings have to be involved. And for
Right.
these feelings to manifest, the receiver of loyalty has to have done something to earn it. An audience isn't owed loyalty by the creator, and the creator certainly isn't owed jack shit from the audience either. Ideally, a creator and an audience must be aware that whatever they have is a transactional relationship. A viewer comes to you for entertainment, and they throw you support of any kind to keep you entertaining. In the VTuber industry, because it's held up by simps, the concept of loyalty is not just unavoidable, but something to be fought for.
Yeah.
Some VTubers actually fight for their audience and get jealous whenever their fans actually go to other content creators. This is a place that is more donation and fan reliant than
Okay, I'm sorry. If you're a VTuber and like you do that, I'm sorry. That's kind of weird. I'm sorry. Like it's I don't know. I understand. Okay, like the archetype. Like obviously, I don't know if you got your role playing, or it's like that sort of like yandere VTuber thing where it's like, you better not go and watch anybody. You better not go and watch anybody besides me. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just not for me, I guess. I don't know, but I just feel like in a sense it kind of just, even I don't know, even if it's like role play or whatever, or like inherently it just like it gives me the ick to like try to like make anybody feel like guilty for like not watching you. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like some of that, like, so if I'm talking about in the context like the underwriting thing, like it's not really like serious. I don't know if there's all like people who are serious, like, oh, I can't believe you watch a different content creator than me. It's like, no, okay, no one is indebted to watch you, and that is like just the truth.
Average, normal, and entertainment subculture. As such, the dark truth is that we content creators in this space have to find ways to keep viewers not just coming back, but to also drop a couple hundred or two. Maybe even give us free stuff via Throne.
I wish. No, I guess I'm bad at that because no one's bought me anything on my Throne, and people don't really donate money to me. But okay, but I get financially supported by you guys for watching me, and also obviously I don't, I don't expect viewers. There's no expectation for anyone to fucking donate to me, to any content creator. There shouldn't be an expectation of any content creator to expect donations from anybody, or I don't know, gifts for anyone. Of course not. But yeah. I was just saying, like, no one's bought anything on my Throne.
Especially if this space is filled with VTubers that either make the same content that they do, or if they share a fan base. And if they share a fan base, then that donation pool is limited. To essentially one-up other VTubers, people in this industry has to provide value beyond the times they are live. They have to take advantage of the industry's more parasocial reliant culture however they can. And very few VTubers actually achieve this in a way that does not feel slimy or reliant on GFE.
I don't know. I kind of like it's. I think there's a fine line, because it definitely can get into like a bit of a icky place, like the playing into like that power socialism in those aspects of things is like, and also I feel like inherently it's kind of unhealthy, I feel like, on both sides of the coin, because I feel like if you are in a place where you as a person, obviously it's your money, but if you're power social enough to start like donating in a power social way or aspect, you're cooked. I'm sorry, but you need to go outside a bit. obviously there's an inherent difference between like casually donating, because you just enjoy the creator, you have the expendable income, but I know you're dropping like $100 when you have like $200 in your bank account because I love my Oshi. I'm a fucking simp. You're an idiot. That's what you are. Okay, I'm sorry. Like it's stupid. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Please, like please don't do that. If you don't have the money, don't donate. Don't do that. Okay, keep the money for yourself. Buy yourself food.
Not that I think there's anything wrong with that. You do what you want as a VTuber as
Yes.
long as you understand the consequences. And in this video, I want to highlight an absolute veteran. Someone who has overcome odds and maintained an absolute unit of a fan base. Here, we talk about
Takanashi Kiara, yeah.
HoloMyth was VTubing's most influential VTuber wave.
Yeah.
And while all of them
yeah.
enjoy an unmatched overall group success, even the top has its own hierarchy. Takanashi Kiara struggled the most in the group. Everybody had a niche.
Oh, really?
Kuro was the lolicunny person, Kylie was the rap tomboy person, Ame was the gamer tech person, Ina was the artist comfy person, but who was Kiara? Well, she had a unique skill that she herself had soon to pride herself with and made her stand out. The ability to speak Japanese. She was a yapper, but she didn't have the same popularity of the other girls due to a few reasons. New Kiara fans might be confused about a lot of these reasons because right now...
Yeah, I'm kind of, I as someone who was not there, I'm a bit confused on that. I don't know, because I feel like, I don't know, I don't think you necessarily, I don't know, like, I honestly, it makes sense that, people have their own, like, in VTubing, like, their own archetypes, like an X factor, you're like, Ina's an artist, you're like, what they were saying, like, Callie's like the tomboy, like, rapper, it's like, they have things and aspects to offer, but I feel like, even if you don't have like one particular thing to like to offer, it's that thing of this is what I say inherently of, especially in any like corporate VTubing space, like any wave. It's like if you got picked, you have been picked for a reason. You deserve to be there just as much as anybody else, and you are there because you have talent, and maybe it's not something as like set in stone as there's like a tag that you can put on yourself, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have things to offer, because at the end of the day, right, to me, being like these VTubers at its core, they're streamers, and people can have other X factors. Like, Ina's a great artist, and that doesn't take away from Ina's skills as an artist. But to me, what's a more important skill is being engaging, being entertaining. You are a streamer. You got to engage with the audience. If Ina just, like in a hypothetical sense, to say, like, if Ina just drew her art and didn't say anything, well, the art's good, but that's not really engaging content, So at its core, it's like, I feel like there's a lot of like personality-based streamers, and I feel like that's what, to me, when I watch Kiara, she's a yapper. She's like, she's engaging. She's a personality-based sort of creator. I feel like she's a very engaging person. When I watch her, I enjoy her personality, and I just think that she's overall an engaging streamer with this like infectious sort of energy that I enjoy watching, and I think that, to me, is what makes her entertaining. And what's her own form of X factor is that she is her own person. She has her own unique personality and her own unique charm, and nobody can replicate that. And that's what I really do like about personality-based streamers or creators. Like, they're unapologetically themselves, and I feel like that's something I really like about Kiara, and something that I gravitate towards. What I like about her is that she always, to me, feels very genuine, and she feels like she's unapologetically her. And when she streams and when she does her content, she's like unapologetically herself. and that's what I feel like I like about her, because she shows her personality, she shows who she is as a person, and isn't afraid to, yeah, like, express herself and be herself. And that's to me inspiring, and that's what I think her X factors are.
Kiara is, well, a lot of these don't really apply, but I think that sentiment alone proves how far she's come. Because she didn't start that way.
Obviously, she's also a good singer, of course, and a dancer.
I can't focus. You're goddamn annoying.
The chicken voice continues to filter people, and at that
Chicken
point,
voice?
that's basically more so a preference thing than actual real
Chicken
criticism.
voice?
The second criticism has a bit more weight to it. See, Kiara is a bit of
What
a
is
yap.
what do they mean by chicken voice? I actually don't know what that means. Her voice has never griped me. I don't know. Obviously that's personal preference, but Kiara's voice has never really bothered me. I don't know.
As we've already established. And among the myth girls, she's probably the most extroverted. This woman's charisma check is nuts to people she collabs with. But that skill doesn't necessarily translate to entertainment ability. It helps, but it's not the end-all be-all, and it certainly did not help that Kiara is a jack of all trades, whose skill set is leaning towards talking. Talking that would have pulled more people in if they weren't filtered by the chicken voice. This skill allowed her to be a great accessory to any stream that she was in or was hosting. But therein lied the issue. She was an accessory, a spice to the food rather than the food itself. Her collabs did really well, but her solo streams, not that much. Especially
Wait, what was this? So, okay, so like 200, 600k.
but her solo streams, not that much.
No, it depends on what she's doing and how long she streams. I mean, obviously, it's like, at the same time, okay, well, it's like karaoke, like game. Obviously, it can sometimes depend on the game that you're playing. Karaoke's could do inherently better, but it's that thing where it's like,
As
I don't know,
collabs
because this
did
was
really
at the
well.
was this like at the beginning of Myth, and in that sense she was smaller. I don't know, it's like, so if you do, Pekora x Kiara, right, or like Subaru, at the time, was Pekora bigger? Was Subaru bigger at or like, more notable in the sense of, they've been there longer, they're established? I'm not exactly sure. This is 3 years ago, so was this like 2021, 2020? Not saying I'm taking anything away from Kiara, but just inherently so, if you have a bigger name, in a sense, you're collaborating with, or somebody that's made more established, is more there, to a certain extent, your views could be a bit higher, because maybe there's traction that comes to you from that said person. But it does show, like, Mori and Goro as well, that did do better. But then at the same time, I think you could say inherently collabs may actually just get more views for people in general normally, also. But I do get what he's saying.
But her solo streams, not that much. Especially in games that were not necessarily a mainstream
Yeah,
pick.
right.
And nowhere is this issue more evident than Takamori. Takamori was the ship name.
But I just wonder, like, is this the same with the other girls, or is this like an X factor that's only related to Kiara? That's the inherent thing, because I feel like if it's we're pointing it out as an inherent issue, or as something notable, is this the same with Mori, Ina, Gora, and Ame? That there's like a significant like drop in comparison to like collabs and regular streams, or solo streams, or is her views like less than the others, or?
And Kiara, they had this very fun mom-dad relationship, because while Callie was masculine, Kiara was very feminine. The most feminine in EN, arguably. Early Myth's greatest and most fun moments was born from Takamori. Such as that time Kiara's channel got nuked, and when it got reinstated,
Oh,
she
wait, got
roleplayed
nuked?
as
What
if
the
she
fuck?
died and doesn't remember anything.
That's kind of funny.
She committed to the bit so hard that she legit roleplayed the debut assets just to keep it 100%
That's kind of funny.
immersive.
I like that's kind of
Absolute
funny.
real sorrow that
That's
I had
actually
watching this
great.
chicken woman pretend to like forget everything and debut and LARP as if it was her first time. The biblical
Debut
joy
again.
and screaming I did when Callie joined the chat and Kiara started screaming her name as she started to remember who she was and what she used to be.
Callie-senpai? Huh?
The wrinkle.
Callie!
Oh my god, the fucking echo too.
I remember it! How could I ever forget you?
Absolute
Oh my god, so
cinema.
dramatic.
This worked well lore-wise because Kiara was a phoenix, a creature that revives itself after death.
Oh,
and Callie
I guess
was
makes
the
sense.
grim fucking reaper, giving this cinematic star-crossed lover dynamic between them. Their lore complements so much with each other that of course they'd be fucking gay. Duh! Do you have any idea how good that concept is from a writing perspective? And the chances that their lore dynamic, community perception, and personality would complement each other is lower than the chances that I'd grow above 5'3", and yet it exists. And yet, Kiara made it happen, acted it out, and it came from something as fucking stressful as her channel almost getting absolute cinema.
God.
Kiara, from the get-go, has shown people the extent of talent-driven entertainment. This is the immersive lore that people actually get invested on. Not lore videos with fancy animations, but lore established through committing to the bits, talent interaction, and community involvement.
Yeah, I think that 100% is true. It builds it builds community in the sense of, you know, like memes and culture, like, you know, HoloLive in itself has its own, you know, culture in the sense of, you know, they have their own jokes in the community, they have their own memes, and I think that is really like, in terms of like lore-based stuff, that does actually build engagement. It's you know, I think it's fun and it's entertaining when if you enjoy like say you enjoy a VTuber, you enjoy a group, and they have their own dynamics, they have their own group dynamics, they have their own things they call back on, they have their own inside jokes, they have their own memes, and as a fan, then you get into sort of understanding that culture and understanding those memes and those inside jokes. And I think that is what builds rapport. And I think that's more in terms of lore that get people coming back. A cool lore video, right, is cool and all. That's nice and all, but I don't think inherently that is really like the be all end all of making people want to stay and watch you and be your viewers.
But lest we forget, why did a handful of people dislike Takamori if it gave us this much?
But people disliked them?
Although I did have this much to say, I kinda have to agree with a lot of the criticism. I think Takamori overstayed its welcome. The sheer emotions it awakened in people were getting annoying, and for a certain period of time, it felt that Takanashi Kiara didn't exist. Only Takamori, as if it was her sole thing to be known for. And I kinda have to agree that for a lot of parts, it felt forced. Like, the engagement, especially from Callie's end, didn't feel as reciprocated. But the even more insidious sentiment was that people feeling like Kiara couldn't grow a brand without riding on the backs of others, and that she knows that, and she's taking advantage of that fact very, very well.
I think this does happen in the sense of sometimes, you know, like fan service, right? That can be a thing that I think sometimes people do like ride on, or they carry it on, you know, and that ship, maybe it sails for too long, you know. But I don't know. I don't know if I would like inherently be like, oh, that's a major criticism, or I don't know if I'd say like, oh, she's riding on the coattails of others. It probably like what's the actual frequency of how much that was happening? But what did these even say? The beginning of Takamori has always felt unnatural and forced. If anything, it's cute and fan art and funny in clips where you could always tell was forced during live streams, and Callie's and especially isn't the same. They've been friends for years and both of them play Okakaro isn't the same. They've been friends for years and both of them play on the joke, not to mention many of their interactions often happen naturally rather than to play up the ship. Okay, if it's like, I guess if it's like you can, if it's about them saying, people saying like, oh, like it doesn't feel natural and it doesn't feel organic, then it's like, okay, that's the thing. I think that, it's that feel like I feel like in idol culture or in VTubing culture, and like there's this like dynamics also in like boy groups and girl groups. It's just like groups in general, how the fan base of these things, they want to ship people together, and then yeah, sometimes you have the people that play into that, and it's not really natural. And I'm not saying that Takamori isn't natural. I'm just saying that I thought there's instances of fan service where fan service can kind of feel forced because there's an innate thing of, oh, our view, like, our fan base wants to see them together. So there's the mutual benefit of, oh, this gets us traction, right? Like I said, not saying this is what Takamori did or what Kiara and Rory were doing or have done. I'm just saying, just in the sense of more talking about in general about fan service, or how, like, when two people sort of ship together in this context, it can kind of get to a point where it may feel a bit forced,
Each, if you will. And up till Kiara and Callie addressed how they were gonna tune it down, this was a major talking point for her critics, and it seems like Kiara herself agrees.
I didn't feel like I could continue it the same way anymore because like I wanna continue being like, collab a lot and be friends and all that, but guys, don't be so dramatic about it. You guys are making way too much drama, like, oh, breakup, blah blah blah. Don't do that, please. It's just I don't want to limit myself. That's maybe one thing I can say.
I mean, she agrees that Takamori was pigeonholing her identity, not the part that she's a leech. Anyway, moving on to...
Yeah.
You're tearing me apart,
I don't know. It seems that big of a deal. I don't know, but...
Stop!
Please watch my Minhera video. It's one of the videos that I'm very, very proud of, and it's also relevant to what I'm about to say. See, I remember a time where I myself, and often, observe others parrot the same sentiment that Kiara was a bit of a number Andy. Kiara wasn't the most stoic or hard-skinned person in the group.
I just want to be friends with everyone, and there's so much that the other girls are so good at, and they all have something that they're really good at and best at, and the only thing that I can say that I'm best at is speaking Japanese fluently. So it's my only real strength. So I just wanted to.
I mean, the thing is, it's just not true. It's just not true in the sense of you're in whole life for a fucking reason because you are talented. You have way more to offer than just the fact you speak Japanese, and that's just a fact.
I thought if I can do anything really good, then it's that. And I know it's sometimes confusing. I know. I'll figure something out.
She is very much emotional. And her being emotional and insecure got her branded as a sort of menhera by those more critical of her. That insecurity causing or being caused by her being the last placer in the group in terms of
I mean, that is the thing. That is the thing. I think that I don't think like Kiara is the only person to feel this way. It's just that people hide these things, right? People hide this. I think it's an unconscious thing that I think a lot of us feel. You know, when you're put in a group with other people, of course there's this unconscious thing of you may compare yourself to to the other members, and that's not like anything I think inherently toxic or anything like that, but it's just like, you want to do the best that you can, and you want to do the best you can maybe for your group, but at this, and also because you're always put together in a group and you're in a group dynamic, it kind of feels, in a sense, you're always compared to these people. You're always put with these people. You always sort of see it, see that, oh, I'm the small one, I've got the least amount of subscribers, maybe, and people point that out. But with being a content creator, being a streamer in general, the numbers are always there. The numbers are always sort of shown in your face. The YouTube analytics always show the numbers. It's very much so something that I think all content creators sort of see, and I think it's definitely even more, I think, of something that gets shoved in your face or shown to you, or when you're in like a position that Kiara is in, there is this element of comparison, that viewers may make comparisons, people make comparisons, and you compare yourself to the others as well. And I think that's a very human thing that I think a lot of people deal with and a lot of people go through, but it's more of, a lot of the time, is that they don't voice these insecurities, and they don't show the insecurities, because when you stream, when you create the content, you kind of have this innate thing of, oh, I've got to be happy, and I've got to be happy and be entertaining, and I'm an escapism for others, for viewers, and I can't show weakness, I can't show my insecurities, I can't be emotional. And it's like, it's a lot of pressure, I feel like.
of subs and views. But one important thing, how is it that her super chat revenue is higher than most members? In the VTuber industry, the high amount of super chat revenue is often indicative of a fan base passion. It means that you're doing something that have your audience, however small they may be, keep coming back, be engaged, and become content enough to open their wallets.
It's a community.
It means they're loyal. High super chat and donation revenue also comes from just chatting streams and instances where the chat and the streamer communicate directly, which is, fortunately, what Kiara is super good at. I don't know if Kiara realizes this or not, but despite her initial shortcomings, she had somehow developed one of the most passionate and
That's what I was saying. That's what I feel like. She has really great engagement with viewers, and she's just genuinely entertaining just by like talking and speaking. She's a yapper, and it's inherently, it makes sense when just chatting streams do well in terms of, I feel like, donos or super chats, because you feel like, in a sense of, you're talking to the streamer, communicating with them, and maybe they also, when a super chat comes in, they actually, maybe they see it and actually say it, and that is a major thing, is that a lot of the time viewers want to be noticed, viewers want their Oshis to notice them and to see what they have to say, and making like having more like just chatting stuff, or being more of like a person who engages with the viewers and engages with people, that makes the viewers loyal, that makes people want to donate and want to support their Oshi, but also their Oshi noticing them makes them want to probably, you know, donate more, because I think it's an innate thing of you want the streamer you're donating to notice the donation and to say your, you know, your message or whatever. Like, most people want that, you know, to like read it out or say, oh, like, I know, senpai, what, thanks for the $10, you know, like, that's what people like, you know?
Or fan bases in the industry. And I have seen a lot of VTubers and their fan bases. Whether that be in the way that she directly addresses her fan base and engages with them in this
that's
more
what I mean. It's
personal,
like
intimate
personal
way.
engagement.
Whether that be in the way that she is
having more
real
of a
with her audience
personable
regarding
connection.
a few issues that she has against HoloLive and her situation. Whether that be how she pushes through those situations and is one of the most hardworking persons out there, bringing to fruition events and content.
That's what I think also. I think, like, that's what I said about how I find Kiara inspiring, is that I feel like she's really real and she's genuine, and that she'll talk about things and she'll be real about things, and that's what I really respect about her a lot.
Nobody would have been able to do, collabs no one dared pursue, and whether that be her sweet and bubbly and overall peak social skills that bring people together, and whether be her stories and rich experiences, adding character, and quite honestly feeling like you get to know her a little each time you tune into her streams. All of this is to say that Kiara's struggles and her shortcomings and the way she makes up for them, the reason that even the weakest KFP employees believe in her potential. This woman does her best in everything she does. And come late 2021 and early 2022, those critical of her recognized that there were less sad girl posting and sad tangents, more grinding and working on her personal brand. Suddenly, from a girl who's not really well known for anything aside from her trilingualism, came the emotional core of the group. The driving, passionate go-getter whose welcome presence couldn't be avoided. Kiara effectively became the strong...
How Kiara always organized so many fan collabs, or is it a recent thing? Why did I say fan collabs? Fun collabs. I'm stupid, huh? Yeah, I mean, Kiara is like the, you know, the bridge, you know, and it does take, to me, like, an innate skill to like set up all these collabs and reach out and talk to people and set things up. That's a skill in itself. It really is.
Beating heart of myth, bringing them together, pushing for collabs, and leading her own community to make fun stuff. Kiara's early struggles and passion made her relatable, made her real despite the veneer of kayfabe, and that sort of personality made her the most open character.
That's what I like about her.
Somebody you would be comfortable approaching. In fact, her fanbase is so parasocial that KFP being a cult sounds half serious.
Oh my god.
She is essentially the Mikela of myth.
What the?
But without the fratricide, of course, and the manipulating and gaslighting and whatever it is that Mikela did. I still haven't watched the Vativaria video. The Kiara from 2020 and the Kiara from 2024 are two entirely new beasts. Level 1 thief versus level 90 mafia boss.
I mean, I just think that, you know, inherently she, over time, gained more confidence in herself, and I think that's great. I think it's amazing to see. I think I really do think it's a amazing journey to see, and it's inspiring. The fact that she wasn't, you know, I think that it takes strength in itself to show vulnerability and to show like, to be real in that sense, to not hide the fact that you have these feelings of you know, being down or not thinking that you're good enough, and expressing that, and then over time sort of, you know, overcoming those insecurities, or gaining more confidence in yourself over time, you know, gaining more experience, reaching out for more collabs, doing more things, performing, you know, all of these things, I think, just over time, you know, with experience being in HoloLive, I think helped her to be more confident in herself. And I think, personally, I think that's an inspiring thing to see. And I think it's a very relatable thing to see. Because I think a lot of us, you know, are insecure about certain things, and it's an unconscious thing that we compare ourselves to others, and it's hard to see your own potential or your own skills and talents within yourself. It's a lot easier to see the beauty in others than it is to see the beauty within yourself, and I think a lot of us, even me as well, like you talk down to yourself and you think you're not good enough. And I think that's a very human and very normal thing. And I really respect that about her, that she's such a hard worker and that she really has become I think a strong-willed person and an inspiring person nowadays, because she does so many things. She has these really amazing performances. She's released albums. She's a very, I think, a competent, strong-willed person who works very hard. And I think she's somebody in the VTuber sphere, in the VTuber community, in the VTuber industry, that I think a lot of people can be inspired by, and a big VTuber to me that I think a lot of people can look up to, and I personally look up to her, in the sense of I respect so much how hard she works and what she truly does. I think it's very respectable. I have a ton of respect for her.
Shit. But how, silly bunny rabbit creature fucker, you may ask. But first, please watch my VTuber tropes video explaining what the heart is in VTuber speak. I think it explains a lot what her appeal is, but do that after this video. We have quite a bit to unravel.
Weddling, what the fuck? Why the fuck was it the Pornhub? Why was it the Pornhub open? Okay. Am I sus because I know that's the Pornhub's noise sound?
I bet I scared you with that music.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, you're not watching Pornhub.
Oh, okay, wow, he just outright said it, okay. I mean, I don't know, I feel like wait, I don't know, I feel like fucking some people I think some people have probably searched HoloLyth on Rule 34 Pornhub.
You might as well be, because Kiara Ludes do be fired.
Okay.
Literally as well, because she's affiliated because the EN industry no longer revolved around myth. They had new and upcoming girls whose time and attention took away from the general audience, especially come 2022, where they no longer had a stranglehold in the industry as they used to. People started looking for and discovering other VTubers, taking time and attention away from HoloLyth. The same was also happening within HoloLyth actually, and with Niji lifting the collab ban with HoloLyth, a whole world of opportunity would reach to those who wished to take it. Kiara didn't just wish to take it, she took it. As per her extroverted tendencies, this girl went everywhere, making fan bases outside HoloLyth fall in love with her, and that's important because 3 out of the myth girls were introverted peanuts who normally stuck to their own.
I'm an introverted peanut.
Peanuts not being an insult, by the way, just in case people start getting me shit for it. Kiara was out there turning more than just frogs gay. I believe if you were a follower of both Holo and Niji, you would agree that Pomu and Kiara were the Romeo and Juliet of VTubing. Beyond that though, V-Shoujo, big Twitch indies, the whole 9 yards. 3D events, getting myth together after months of being absent, and actual group projects. I can only imagine how difficult it must have been for Kiara to push for these collabs.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard. I think people don't realize how hard it can actually be to like set up collabs, like come up with ideas, and you think about it, like different creators have their own schedules, time zones, people are busy. Scheduling these things, setting these things up is hard, and that's why a lot of people I feel like are on that are more individualized, because in the sense obviously a lot of people are also innately introverted, but also it is just hard to come up make collabs happen. I think people don't realize, viewers really do not realize a lot of the time how much time and effort it goes into making collab. But it's not about the content itself. It can really be even just making the collab happen or scheduling the collab because yeah, you know, full-time VTubers, you know, VTubers obviously in the whole life are very busy. Nijisanji VTubers are obviously very busy. VShoujo VTubers are obviously very busy. Indies that stream every day because they're full-time VTubers or they're full-time streamers are also busy because you know, it's their jobs, you know, it is hard to do, and especially time zones as well. It's not an easy thing to do.
These events, and there's also the need to think about everyone's time around you, setting up schedule.
Yeah.
And that's on top of the personal plans that she already has.
Yeah.
It's a task that's not to be underestimated, and
No.
the Orange Woman somehow
It's
still
so fucking
pulls
hard.
through.
It's really
And
fucking
speaking
hard.
of personal plans, that's actually important to talking and explaining the sheer power of Takanashi Kiara. She knows what people want, and she knows how to give it. Beaten by only Calliope Mori and topped only by the idolist of idols in the JP branch, Takanashi Kiara is a creative powerhouse, hooking in a strong Korean and idol fanbase with various songs and performances that honestly should have been seen by more people. This has the
I
Orange
agree.
Woman as their Oshi, and if not, they still can't help
I
but be
really do like
intimately
her
drawn
music
towards her anyway.
as well.
I could go on and explain why people love Kiara so much, down to the smaller details, like how she's the most feminine in Myth, which leads to a lot of general attraction towards her personality, being emotionally intelligent yet stern with her boundaries. All of these matter. It's all of these small reasons that compelled KFP to be as loyal and consistent as they are throughout the years. Kiara's struggles, character, and influences are why she has one of VTubing's most passionate and loudest fanbase. How she earned people's loyalty was through experience, content, culture, and character that very few VTubers have yet to replicate. From a number-focused underdog into the strong, beating heart of HoloLyve EN, Takanashi Kiara is truly the strongest idol. Like and subscribe!
Okay, that was a good video. Yeah, I agree with a lot of the things that Nasagi said. I mean, I guess in a way a major thing I disagree with, but no, I do think yeah, Kyo is great. Kyo is really amazing. And I personally am inspired by her her work ethic. Like I said, her creativity, her ability to be this positive, I think a positive force for HoloLyve, for the VTuber community, and for Myth in general. Yeah. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Please consider subscribe on your to see more HoloLyve videos in the future, and I'll see you guys next one.
Bye bye.